Hello, I'm Samantha Yarock from MLSsoccer.com here with Landon Donovan, one of the all-time greatest goal scorers in MLS and U.S. men's national team history. We're here to take a look at some of his most memorable goal-scoring moments. You picked yours, yes. I picked mine. We're going to start, though, with one that we actually both picked, your first goal back in 2001. Here we go.
Ronald, Richie. It's crazy to see this. The cool thing about this goal is that, well, one, it's against Tim Howard. So, two, is I had a terrible celebration. Three, I had gone like the first 12 games without scoring, and Frank Yallop put so much faith in me and let me keep playing. The team was doing well and just kept faith in me. So I was finally happy to reward him and get the first goal. Man, that was a long time ago.
This is actually from your first brace at San Jose.
Okay.
And I want you to kind of think about the type of player you were at 19 years old and what advice you would give now to that player.
Lots of advice. Well, I had like the youthful energy, the easy part, but could have been a little smarter in a lot of ways. But we'll see. God, I miss these guys, man. Oh, I don't even remember this goal. It was against the Galaxy. I love seeing all these old teammates. I remember this goal. I almost picked this goal. I remember that goal really well.
What do you remember about it? Besides that this is your celebration
I like to show my chest off a lot. I think for so long, San Jose had been so bad in the league, and this year we finally had a good year, and LA was the rival. So this goal was against LA, and you can see Joe Cannon came all the way up from goal. This was just end of the game, but I think that made it 3-1. And it was you could tell there was a turning point, and there was something special about that team, so it was cool.
All right, and so now you can see a little preview of what's to come.
Look at this hair.
So this next game, it's funny. The announcer in the last one said that it was your first brace, certainly wouldn't be your last. And actually, the next game you scored in was another brace.
Wow.
And I picked this one because, A, you debut this lovely...
That's why I'm bald now.
This lovely thing, yeah. Bleaching is not the right thing. And it's also your first penalty kick, and I'll hold off on the penalty kick question until after we see.
Okay. Do I remember this? Oh, yeah, I do remember this goal.
So what inspired the celebrations of taking off your shirt?
Honestly, I have no idea. I was probably just a punk, thought I was really sexy if I took off my shirt. I don't know.
So were you upset when FIFA banned it?
Yeah. It was not a happy day for me. I had to change my celebration.
So this is your first penalty kick. What is this ritual?
It's pretty obnoxious. I just had a lot of things I would do. I had different gifts from family members throughout the years, bracelets, rings, different stuff. So it's really just a moment to sort of ground me and help me relax. Because in general, these are pretty pressure-packed situations. So you just want to calm down so that you don't get too excited. So there goes the shirt again.
Right. Well, this happened for the first 4 years.
So young. I miss those days.
So there we are again.
This is why people hated me. I don't know how I came up with this. It's not like I sat home at night and was like, try this. How's this look in the mirror? But I've altered it a little bit so that it's not quite as obnoxious. 2005,
you're back after your short stint back in Germany, but now you're with the Galaxy.
Right. And back at Spartan. I think this was my first time.
Yeah, this was your first goal against San Jose.
It was hard to go back, actually. Yeah, that was a good goal. It was hard to go back because I had built such a relationship with that club and that team. And that was the first time in my life I experienced some sort of hatred from other people. I remember after the warm-up, I walked up the steps and back into the locker room like I had done many times for San Jose. And as I was running up, something just nailed me in the face, and this guy had balled up like a T-shirt and just flung it at me, and I was like, oh. But, in retrospect, it was a good moment because it meant people cared. And when I first came in the league, people didn't care as much as they did. So It's kind of a bad moment for me, but in general, I think it's a good moment for soccer and for Major League Soccer.
Once you were back in 2005 playing for the Galaxy, you had evolved as a player. It wasn't so much just about your speed. This play in particular, you don't move for the entire play until you score. Like, everything is going on around you.
That's called getting lazy as you get older.
No, you're reading the play, and just watch.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember this one. See, I let all these guys do all the work. I take the glory. That was the year Chivas were very good that year. Brad Guzan was in goal. Sasha was there. I think Johnny Bornstein was there.
In terms of your style of play, how would you describe the change, and when did you really feel it?
Well, as you get older, you don't have the same speed. You lose a little bit. Two, you realize that you can't. When I was 19, I could run all over the field all day, and I just had this endless energy. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to work at it. I was just naturally blessed in that way. But as you get older, it gets harder. And so you can't make every single run every time. You have to be smarter. You have to make sure you pick your moments offensively and defensively so you don't kill yourself by the 60th minute or 70th minute.
But how do you see things that nobody else sees?
Well,
Watching you, you're able to put the ball in a place where nobody else knows.
Well, what I believe in is, first, you're born. I don't think I was born to be a soccer player, but I think you're born with certain talents, certain abilities. My dad was a very, very good hockey player, and when I would watch him play, he would always see things on the ice that I could tell other guys couldn't really see. And so I learned by watching. I learned by watching on TV. Believe it or not, I learned by playing video games, different things about soccer, and then I just played all the time. So when these situations come up, it's not a new situation for me. I've done this in my mind 100 times, and I've done it on a soccer field 100 times, so it becomes more natural, and in that way it makes it easier.
Okay, so this is one of the goals that you picked, and what do you remember, I guess?
This was a great game as a starting point. So the ball came out. I jumped and sort of got that header. And then I don't know who touched it to me, but it fell back to me. And it was just one of those where it's all about technique. And you're not trying to kill the ball. You just want to make really good contact. And when you hit it like that, it can come up and down very fast. And that one I just hit perfectly.
But yet that wasn't the one that won Goal of the Year.
It wasn't.
Is
that the same year?
Next.
Oh.
It is.
That was a good year.
So this is the one that won Goal of the Year. You picked this one as well. Why is it so special?
Well, this one just fell in my lap. I mean, Alan Gordon did a good job here. He hit a little short cross there, and it just bounced to me. And before I knew what was happening, I just sort of reacted. And I just decided to swing my leg. And sometimes that's when you score the best goals because you're not thinking about it too much. You don't have time to sort of line up what you want to do. You just do what's natural. And you know, growing up my whole life, I've probably practiced shooting volleys like that 1,000 times, but it rarely comes off that way. But it's just a reaction where it just happens. So when it came to me, I just swung, and next thing I knew, it was in the top corner. I think it took a little nick off the defender's head, but I couldn't have hit it any better, and it was a nice goal.
Okay, so we're moving now on to this year. We all know that you decided to take a little break from soccer. I just want to know what it was like when you came back and what your time off kind of helped you get to a new place in soccer, and in a lot of ways was a rejuvenated you. Your speed was there, your instinct is there, and I chose this goal because this is your first one back.
Well, coming back was actually very hard because you don't realize how much having that time off hurts you from a soccer standpoint because you're so in a rhythm and you're so used to doing it. So most years I would have 2 or 3 weeks off and then I was back playing, so you don't lose anything. But at this point, I felt there was days I was like, I don't even think I can trap a soccer ball anymore. And you start to doubt yourself. So this one is all on Robbie because he didn't have to pass that ball. Everybody knows Robbie Keane can score that goal. But he had the presence of mind to know I was there. He had the awareness to say, let's get Landon a goal. And I owe him a lot of credit for that. And it got me off the mark and then just gave me some confidence again.
And what did he say to you after?
He said, welcome back. I was like, a few months late, but...
But speaking of your relationship with Robbie, you guys have an amazing partnership and really, I mean, one of, if not the best in MLS right now. What makes the two of you work so well together?
Well, he's easy to play with for me because it's the same when David was here. When they get the ball, it's very clear what they're going to do. And if you make the right run or the right movement, they're going to get you the ball. If you don't, then they get frustrated with you because they can make those passes. So I know when he gets the ball, there's a few different things I can do where it's going to help our team. And as long as I do one of those few things, he's going to find me in the right spot. And then conversely, I think when I get the ball, he makes very clear decisions and we read each other really well so that if he's going long, I can put it in the right spot. If he comes short, I know he can get it. And he's just so clever with the way he moves, and it makes it really easy for me to play with him.
This is definitely one of my favorites of yours, and I just want to know what your thoughts were when you ended up in the back of the net.
So this was the end of the first half, and we hadn't played badly, but we were kind of not really in the game. We didn't have many chances. And then Robbie turned in the midfield, and I knew that if I made the right run, he was going to get me the ball. When he hit it, I didn't think I was going to get to it. I thought Seitz was coming. He kind of hesitated a little, so I was able to get my head on it. And then next thing I knew, I had to keep running because I didn't head it far enough. And Hedges and myself ran in the net. And at that point, it was damage control because I saw the post sitting there, and I was like, please don't hit it. Please don't hit it. And you don't realize I barely hit it, but it was pretty painful because that thing's pretty solid. So the moral of the story is don't try to run into a post if you don't want to get hurt.
I picked one more goal. This is also from this season, and I just love it because it looks like the 19-year-old Landon.
You're seeing a lot of same thing here. Robbie making a great pass.
Well, because it happens quite often.
Right. So that play happened quickly. I think it was off their free kick, and we broke out. And the timing was perfect where I was running at full speed, and Robbie had the ball. And when he has the ball there, he's going to put it in the right spot. So I took off. I felt young on that play. I had not a perfect touch, but good enough to get by John Bush and then put it in. And I think it ended up being the winner, so it was a good goal.
Before we finish, I just had a couple overall questions for you. And I asked you before, but I don't think I really got a full answer. What would be something you, Landon, today would say to 19-year-old Landon?
Well, there's give and take as you get older. So the give is that you're not as fast, not as bright, not as lively, don't have that youthful exuberance and sort of stupidity where you'll just do anything, because that pays off in some ways. What you gain is the experience. You can pick your moments. You can sort of gauge yourself throughout a game, throughout a season, so that you're more effective throughout the whole season. I guess I would say continue being what you were, because as I got older and there started to be criticisms after the 2006 World Cup, which was very difficult, I sort of went away from being who I was because I was starting to feel that pressure. And I wish I could go back and just sort of let all that go and just keep playing the way I was when I was young.
What is one of the best pieces of advice that you've gotten along the way, and from who?
The best piece of advice I've ever gotten is from my mom, who said always, continually, if you're not enjoying it, don't play. And I reached a point at the end of 2012 where I really wasn't having fun. We won the championship, and I was more relieved than I was joyous to win. And that should never be the case. When you put in that much work, you should be happy at the end of the season. And so that was the reason I took some time off, because I wanted to see, is this still enjoyable for me or not? And if it's not, I'm not going to do it. And so I've always held to that. I know it's not always the most popular decision amongst people, but I have to hold true to that, because when I'm enjoying it, you see in these moments, I can really do something special. But if I'm not, then it's not as effective.
And so you clearly are enjoying it. You've re-signed with the Galaxy. What are some goals that you have for yourself for the rest of your career?
For me, it's simple. I just want to enjoy playing every day. Like I said, there was a couple years where I wasn't enjoying it every day. And I want to enjoy going out to practice. I want to enjoy doing things like this. I want to enjoy playing, hopefully being a part of another championship, hopefully being a part of a World Cup team. Those are things I want to do, but most of all, I just want to keep having fun.
Well, it's certainly been an amazing trip down memory lane. It's hard to pick the best goals from your career, but I want to thank you for taking time to sit and talk with us.
My pleasure. I could do this all day.
More importantly, everything you've done for Major League Soccer, you've really helped the league grow, the sport grow here, and we hope that you continue to score even more goals. So,
thank you. I do too.
Thank you.